All right. Uh, so today's the 4th of November. I guess, yeah, last week I was traveling, so I did not record a video. I mean, yeah, so I don't know why I did this consistently for a year, but now I just don't have the, uh, like, I'm not punctual enough to do this regularly. I don't know. I used to do it every Friday, but these days it's been not so common. So anyway, so yeah, the last video I recorded was probably 2 weeks ago, maybe. But then something like that, maybe. But okay, so last week was completely full of travel. Okay, I not true. So I was here in New Brunswick from Monday and Tuesday, and on Tuesday evening I took a car and drove to Ithaca, Cornell University, first time there. So okay, what did I do on Monday and Tuesday? Okay, yeah. I mean, it was a big talk for me. So there were two talks. So one is the talk on the our WhatsApp related thing, and the other was a class where I was giving a talk. So I had to give a talk in Aditya Vasishta. That was the guy who invited me. The motto it, he didn't invite me, I invited myself. But anyway, so there were two of these talks, and each of these was like an hour long, or 45 to 45 minutes to an hour. So the first one, I had a lot of slides already, but I had to do some new results and like get some of those updates. So I did that. So that was I mean, not so big of a deal, but the other one, the class one, I had to do it from scratch. So again, it was an hour of lecture. Like so, I mean, again, nothing is from scratch. You have the materials, like papers and all of these stuff. Just a matter of like sitting down and like putting these together in one place and like having a coherent thing and practicing it, like which is the biggest time-consuming part. Okay, what did I do? I was very busy the week before that as well. Like even before that, I don't remember what I was doing. 27. Yeah, I think I left my book somewhere, but yeah, yeah. Yeah, I have good notes that I keep every day. So yeah, I mean, I was doing some. Yeah, we have one paper which is yeah, I know now. We have one paper which we are trying to do like a small pilot of with an economist, and so that is an area that I'm very excited about. It's about like understanding the impacts of ChatGPT and how much people will be willing to pay for ChatGPT and like what ChatGPT knows about you, all of this stuff. So there was a lot of data that we collected, pilot data from 100 users that we collected for that study. And so I was doing some analysis on that. And okay, unfortunately, I realized that I was really happy that we had data from 150 users, but it turned out to be fully fraudulent data. Someone made up the data first time for me with this company that I work with. So it was really unfortunate, and that was useless data. That took a lot of effort to prove that this is fraudulent data, and that was hard because I was really counting on that to know more also about how people are using ChatGPT and all of that stuff. Um, the other thing I was doing there was yeah, so part of that study, or maybe it's two different studies, but is we want to also provide some training, like very simple training on like how to use ChatGPT to people you who haven't used ChatGPT, which is something that we realized on the field is like a lot of people still don't use ChatGPT. And so what we are now doing is we have like a 1 hour training lecture series, like it's 5 or 6 videos that we are going to record in Hindi, and people will watch those videos, and then they will get some uh, questionnaires every week, and like we want to measure some outcome variables 1 month from then. And it has a bunch of things like, the sure shot thing is like understanding willingness to pay, like how much are they willing to pay for a service like this once you give them access. But also things like, does it improve their mental health? Because you're going to provide some tools to them to show that, this is how you can use it for as a coach, as a wellness instructor, things like that. And so yeah, so the designing those lectures again took a long time. So I was doing that. Uh, the the other thing I was doing was that yeah, there was this uh, abstract deadline. So there's a journal, it's called Journal of Trust and Safety. And so I was submitting an abstract for that. It's an abstract about similar things like how people in the global south use AI. And there I submitted a commentary piece. I mean, it's not a piece, it's just an abstract, but it requires a lot of thinking because if they accept the abstract, you will have to do all of the work. So you have to really think about it. So yeah, that was one thing that I submitted. That took some time. Then um, yeah, I guess, yeah, these two things mainly, the ChatGPT data analysis and creating the lecture plan and all of that stuff for that study. Now, so that was 2 weeks, Thursday, Friday, the week before. Last week, it was all, this preparation of the materials and slides and everything for that Cornell trip. So Tuesday night, I went along with my family because there was a lot of like really amazing drive, like because of fall colors and everything. And man, that northern, PA, New Jersey, northern PA and New York is like really amazing. So that was a very good drive. Like, so we went there. It was like a 4.5 hour drive, but it was really worth it. And then I was there on Wednesday. Wednesday was my talk at 3 p.m., but I was all day booked with like meeting a lot of people. And so, yeah, okay, how did that happen? How did that trip happen? So I had reached out to Aditya a long time ago, a year ago maybe, asked him if I can come and give a talk at Cornell. I mean, these things usually like just are like some sort of brain fart, or like, okay, that people doing similar work, like why don't we go over there and give a talk? And Cornell is like accessible, like it's a 4 hour drive. I thought it was a 3 hour drive, but it was like a 4.5 hour drive. But anyway, so I thought, yeah, let's do that. And then, okay, it took a long time, but yeah, okay. The moral of the story, I think I talked about this earlier as well, is I just do this not so often. It is also not, people I don't know. It's, I have a friend at Princeton, and I also asked him, hey, if you have a seminar series, like I want to come and give a talk, let me know. Okay, that hasn't happened, but that might happen again, like a year from now or something. But these things, yeah, just go through networks. I don't think people do this that often, but I do it. Again, like probably it's not a bad thing. Like if people ignore, like the guy at Princeton, okay, that's fine. But yeah, if it works, it works, right? Like now, all of these people know about my work. And I was telling this to some of the students I met at Cornell, is a lot of your job is like selling, right? Like selling your work, selling your self, like, your ideas, all of this stuff. So I think it was uh, not uh, not a bad idea. So then, yeah, I had reached out to also a couple of people at Cornell because I was going there, and these are people who are my old collaborator. I mean, I can't call them collaborators. These are people I was involved in projects with, but like David Rand, like they're a very big name, David Rand, Gordon Pennycook, and so on. They were not at Cornell, so I was just emailed them. Luckily, I mean, they were kind enough to give me some time to talk, and I went and talked to them. Again, nothing comes out of this, but in general, for people like that to know of your work is a good signal, in my opinion. So, I do that. And okay, so that day was fully booked with a lot of meetings, but yeah, then there was a talk. The talk went surprisingly well. Surprisingly, because usually for my type of work, this particular work that I present, like there's always a lot of pushback, and it takes a lot of time to convince people about this. Again, I mean, it's not like, this is like a Nobel Prize winning kind of work. I mean, it's normal work, but I think, yeah, I mean, there are some choices that we made ethically and all of that stuff, which are need some convincing. So not everyone is convinced, but I think, I mean, the I had some horrible experiences at like MIT where it was I mean, I almost literally cried like in front of all these people because of the questions, and I could not answer those questions. It was just brutal. And this was not one of those. It was one of these where I felt like I was in control. I don't know how these people who were in the audience felt, but anyway, so that was good. Like, so then I had dinner with some faculty. Like, it was quite good that day. So the next day, Thursday, was so I had a lecture in Aditya's class. It was called Global Development, Global Computing and Development, or something like that. It was a seminar class. So I was talking about all of my work on WhatsApp over the years, and then trying to have some activity and all that stuff. Like, but it was quite good. Like, there were a couple, big class, like 100 students or so. Very interactive. Um, so yeah, that was quite good. But I spent a lot of time preparing that lecture because I really had to do everything from scratch and like prepare the slides, and talking for like 60 minutes is not that easy. That takes a lot of time. So I did that. Then yeah, Friday I just went to some waterfalls there. I mean, Ithaca is so beautiful. Like 20 minutes from Cornell, there's a very nice waterfall. And it was raining the previous day, so it was really good. Like, it was full of water. It was really, really good. Like, so that was a very good experience. And then we drove back on Friday. Um, and so this week, and yeah, there are lots of, because last week I was not here, there are lots of things that are pending, like the there was a bunch of grants that I wanted to apply. So there was a local New Jersey Rutgers grant, like it was a $15,000 grant. And there I'm really pitching this idea to a lot of people these days, a lot of internal Rutgers and state of New Jersey kind of people, which is this impact of data centers on New Jersey electricity prices, and comparing that with your neighboring states. I think that's going to be a big thing. Like, I mean, definitely, I see myself like data point of one that my electricity bills have increased. But if you get like a population of 500 people, how much do you think? Like, can we quantify that sort of? Okay, this is when the data center was set up in this region, and this is the increase in prices. Quantifying that amount. Um, I I don't think it's as easy to get these data donations, but also to get the uh, um, get the good estimates. But anyway, let's see. I mean, we want to try. So that's the idea. So I submitted a one of those on Monday, and then today there was a Amazon uh, grant. This was on fraud prevention. I mean, I don't think it'll be funded, but it's mostly about like com computational methods to detect fraud, like, and new methods for AI. How can fraud be detected? All of those stuff, like AI fingerprinting, AI image generation detection, all of this stuff. And that's not the area that I work in. So I think my idea is very complementary to many of these ideas I think they are expecting. Hopefully, they will consider, but the idea is that, you know, it's kind of brings in my kind of data donation from WhatsApp kind of thing. So and this is definitely a big problem, is that a lot of the fraud and coordination happens off platform. So Amazon cannot see that fraud. So they are not able to moderate or do anything about that thing. So what I'm saying is I will have like a very comprehensive way of recruiting people who are parts of these WhatsApp and Telegram groups. I'll sample them through data donation and provide like good quality training data for them where these sorts of things are identified live. Uh, I think it's possible. Like, I mean, especially for a grant like that, like 100K kind of grant is it's definitely possible. Let's see. I don't know. I mean, I have very little hope because I've been applying for like 3 years now and I don't get it. Again, like they don't expect this type of work, but I really hope someone reads it and like finds it interesting. But I would love to do that type of work that kind of brings this sort of okay data donation, as in like just gobbling up people's WhatsApp data to study some misinformation or something like that. Instead of that, like providing these sort of useful insights to a company kind of thing. I think it's very, very helpful. Um, so so there's that. And then yeah, so I'm submitting. I submitted that just now. Then the big thing that I have to do this week, I mean, it's really this week is we have a extended abstract accepted at this journal, a very good journal. It's called IJPP, International Journal of Press and Politics. Very good journal. I mean, very, very good. It's good for in political science, communication, media studies. So there's a special issue in generative AI, and we have our generative AI data from our WhatsApp thing. So we annotated a few thousand images, and now we want to write something. So we have the data, we have the results. It's on me now to analyze those results and put this in on paper. I did some initial analysis, but now I have to sit down and like really put all of these together, write the paper. So yeah, and I have to deliver that before Friday so that my collaborator Simon will go through it and like read and like write a better draft and all the stuff and give me comments. So and the deadline is the 15th. So I have to do that before 15th. But I'm also going to DC for JSIST, for ASIST, which is the Library Information Science conference for the first time. Let's see. Hopefully that'll be helpful. But yeah, I have to finish that before that, give my collaborators some time to read and give comments, and like finally submit that before I leave. And then also prepare the slides for next week before I go to this conference. But not next week, actually, the week after. So actually, maybe next week. Anyway, so that's that. And yeah, so a lot of things, on the plate. Like hopefully, again, things will start moving, and like all of these things will create a pipeline. So things come out. But yeah, the main thing is, I think that big thing with WhatsApp, we are done with the annotations. Now we are going to write something, but nothing is done now. I don't want to sell that sort of WhatsApp data donation, misinformation thing. I mean, I will do that, but I want to have one more big idea by myself that I do, and all of that stuff. I mean, it's definitely going to be AI and Global South, and like something around like impacts of AI. But yeah, I really haven't figured out that. Like we're doing a bunch of pilots to get some sense, and so that will be the next thing I wanna really think about and get some out. And yeah, I have a blog post on some of this AI OnlyFans, like the sort of personalized spawn as a big thing that we should worry about instead of the sort of sycophantic AI. And I haven't finalized that, but I also have to finalize that. That's another thing. Yeah, so that's it for now. Let's talk again hopefully next week.